Welcome everyone to the Energy Game Changers online conference 2020. My name is Kristen and I will be your host and moderator for the rest of the day. We welcome you from Proto Invention Factory here in Tallinn, Estonia. And this, due to the times we're living in, is an online conference. Unfortunately, we will not be able to provide you with excellent opportunities of networking during coffee breaks or during whispering, during different presentations during the day with your neighbor. However, we are using the WorksApp application, which will allow you to network with other participants of this conference wherever they happen to be. So if you're following us via WorksApp, there's an option for you on the right bottom side of the screen for you to create your profile and start communicating with other participants. Also, we will use WorksApp for the Q&A sessions later during presentations. So if you're not following WorksApp at the moment, and perhaps you're joining us via Facebook Live, then I encourage you to check out WorksApp as well. You can find the link from SMAGRINET's Facebook page. We will come back to WorksApp later as well, but you can follow the agenda of today's conference as well on the right side of your screen. Today, this conference is divided into two parts. In the morning session, we're going to have 4 different perspectives from 4 very different ideas and viewpoints of questions of energy transition, smart grids, workforce, consumer consumption, consumer motivation, and etc. These viewpoints will be industry, society, sustainability, and lastly, view of the future. We're going to have a break at 11:45 for 15 minutes, that's Central European time, after which I encourage you to join us at noon for a panel with 4 distinguished university representatives with whom we're going to discuss the situation of energy shift, the situation of industry and academia collaboration, and how to tackle the problems we're currently facing with lack of workforce, retraining, consumers, etc. Countries across the globe are implementing smart grids in order to achieve reductions in emissions, increased grid efficiency, usage of renewable energy sources, and consumer control over their energy consumption. Smart grid implementation requires not only significant amounts of investment to replace the traditional usual electricity grids that we currently have with smart grids, but it also requires training of next generation electrical engineers who will be able to manage these smart grids and will be able to also keep up with future developments in this sector. Currently, there is a shortage of qualified electrical engineers in many EU countries, and this hinders the transition to a more renewable and a more sustainable society. As the share of renewable energy in the EU rises substantially in the coming years, this leads us to a situation where this transformation will affect not only employment and jobs, but also requires education and training and a more vigorous social dialogue. Due to all of the above, this conference aims to give us different viewpoints and bring together industry and academia to discuss about the energy transition and smart grid implementation. Discuss what are the specific roles of the industry, the society, the consumer. How can we tackle different problems? This conference aims to lead the audience from the industry viewpoint to the social aspects of the energy transition and sustainability of the energy shift to its future perspectives related to the high voltage direct current. We will try to introduce best practices, best examples of industry-academia collaboration in tackling the shortage of skilled workforce and upskilling researchers, engineers, and all of the above to ensure energy transition. The conference Energy Game Changers 2020 is organized as part of the Horizon 2020 project SMAGRINET that is coordinated by the Tallinn University of Technology and is fully funded by the European Union. Jointly with other universities, Technical University of Berlin, Dresden University of Technology, Kaunas University of Technology, University of Lausanne and University of Ljubljana, with several industry experts, a set of modules have been developed through the course of this project in order to educate the next generation of engineers and power the smart grid expertise in Europe. To open this conference, I have the pleasure of introducing Karl Kull from Tallinn University of Technology, who is the coordinator of SMAGRINET Project.
Thank you very much. Good morning. I can say good afternoon, and judging by the registry of our participants, good evening as well. Strange times we live in, because I'm with you. Over 150 participants are expected today. So this is a revolution of technology as well. Maybe this type of conference would have been the norm in 10 years' time anyway. The situation that we are in here is just making it near to us. So this is a sign of changing times. And it's changing times in the power and energy sector as well. More and more renewables are erected every year. But moreover, the types of places we consume electricity, we consume energy are changing as well. We are heating our houses with electricity. We are powering our cars, our transportation with electricity. So two things are happening on both sides of the grid. Moreover, think about your workplace. We do more things on electrical equipment than before. The geographical position of our workplaces are changing, which means that the intensity of consumption and the intensity of generation is changing, which has been at present and at a specific place for almost 50 years. These are only one part. This is only one part of the equation that we have. The second equation that runs it, well, we can come straight to the point. The European Union, with the European Commission, has set itself remarkable tasks. We have to reduce 85% of our greenhouse gases by 2050. And we have to reduce our greenhouse gases by 50% in 10 years' time. We have to do twice the work we have done in 10 years compared to the work we have done in 25 years. Of course, the European Union and the Commission has foreseen that renewable generation is only one part of the solution. We have to bring up different types of technologies. We have to bring up different types of ways to shift our energy demand. And some of these technologies are not mature. Of course, the people here listening today and the people in our panel, well, we may say that we are a few at the moment who grasp the different fields of interdisciplinary parts of the smart grid. Because the smart grid is not only about technology. It's about policy, it's about economy, and it's about the societal change as well. We have to change the way we think. If we look at the Green Deal and its principles, the core principle of the Green Deal is more efficiency. We make our homes, we make our cars, we make our appliances, we make our industry more efficient, thus reducing the amount of energy we consume. The second pillar is producing from renewable energy, mainly from renewable energy. The third one is providing energy security, meaning that we are able to provide energy at a time when people actually need it. Now, this is the first part where the smart grid comes in. As in order to achieve this energy security, we have to integrate the electricity and the energy market. We have to make sure that there are people who need energy, and we have to make sure that they get it when they need it. And the last pillar, or the principle of the Green Deal, is to do it in a digitalized way. Why? Because we need information to be exchanged between consumers. We need exchange between generators, and we need that the grid has to know. So 5 things: efficiency, renewable, security, integration of markets, and digitalization. And thanks to the European Commission, here's where SMAGRINET comes in. Thanks to the European Commission, we have been brought to life. And we have to make sure that this way of thinking, these principles are understood in a unilateral way, meaning that the ideas become common knowledge among the industry, among homeowners, among politicians as well. So what we set up to was to make sure that we listen to the industry. We listen to what they need. We set up to learn and understand the policies that are made and why they are made. Then we set up to understand what do the consumers need to know? What are they afraid of? And through all of that, we packaged this information, and we started to facilitate this information between academia, as it was mentioned before. We provide modules on interdisciplinary fields like social sciences and economy. Why? Because we have to know how to present these ideas to the public. We have to show them that this is economically viable. The next part is grid planning. As I said before, the places where we generate and the places where we consume are changing. So we have to know how to plan these grids out, and what types of technologies we have to plan ahead to make sure that when they start producing and when they start consuming, the quality of life doesn't change. And the last part, to make this all happen, we set out to provide information on the possibilities of IT, especially artificial intelligence and machine learning. What we have learned is that we don't know everything. We started out mainly as engineers, and today we have brought up our knowledge on at least the other 2 subjects. We know grid planning, but we raised our level in social sciences and economy, and we raised our level of knowledge on AI and artificial intelligence. And when we tested out with test groups with policymakers, we knew at the end that, because they said to us that we raised their level and knowledge on what is actually technically possible and what are the limitations or the possibilities of AI, because they know about economy, they know about social sciences and the way people work. So what we have set up to is what is unifying these two or 3 or 4 disciplines into one. We want to make sure that everybody knows the limitations, the possibilities, and the future that is to come with the energy shift, because we are in an energy shift. We want to make sure that people set out, and if they read about it, they do not resent it, they welcome it. Because what they don't know, they, how should I put it politely, they are afraid of. And if they know about the technological possibilities, they know how to build their homes, they know how to commute to work, when to charge their electrical vehicles, and when not to, then they can themselves see that the energy shift that we are in is absolutely great. Of course, during the lifespan of the project which we've had so far, new technological fields have come up, new prospects have come up, especially in Europe. If we talk about hydrogen, hydrogen is coming, make no mistake. And how fiercely it's coming and how strongly it's coming, that's something which us as SMAGRINET can help out with, again, because we can teach how this will affect the grid, how it will help the transition of the renewable energy system, how it will go from copper to hydrogen and back to copper again. Technically, it's easy. It's just something that we have to bring into the attention of the common knowledge. Because if you can talk with your neighbor about it, then we're already there. Then you know that if you change your light bulbs, you buy a more efficient dishwasher. You will save energy, but you will save money as well. And that is the core idea of SMAGRINET. As it was mentioned before, we have 9 partners. We have an excellent team of knowledge. And today, we have set out to make the modules, and we have set out to be the lighthouse for 27 countries. So if we take into account that today we only have 150 to 200 participants at the end of the day, please make sure that you ask questions. Please make sure that you get the most out of this conference. Maybe by writing down the questions, you are more brave. You get your thoughts out. Do it. Exploit this possibility which you have today. Because let's be honest, if SMAGRINET can't answer 200 people, how are we going to help the rest of Europe? So that's something that I encourage you to do. And make sure that you get most out of this conference that we have today. Thank you very much.
Thank you to Carl for setting the theme of today. Obviously, the question of energy transition is something that affects most of the public. Yet, as Carl pointed out, most of the public probably does not recognize this. We may not today have a lot of participants who are not connected to the field of energy and the relevant sectors. We, however, have a lot of people who are able to change the way we think about energy transition, to discuss the problems that we currently have and the ways of tackling those problems. Carl also mentioned that we appreciate it if you ask questions, that if you participate in this conference as much as you can in the luxury of your own living room, office, or wherever you happen to be. So just to remind you, we're using the WorksUp application today. If you're currently already following us through WorksUp, then you can see the agenda on either the right side of your screen, or if you happen to follow it on your smartphone, then on the bottom side. And you can see the agenda and the speakers we're having today, and you can click on them, and there you will have the option of Q&As. So you can already see the topics, see the presenters, and already ask them questions if you want to. If you're currently not following us through WorksUp and following us through any of the Facebook live feeds from different pages and events that are following this event, then I encourage you to check out WorksUp, because that's where the questions and the Q&A will take place. So in order to do so, you just need to click on the SMAGRINET Facebook page, and you can see the WorksUp link from there.